All right, time for Restaurant Tuesday. And as Max and I mentioned earlier at the start of the broadcast, coming off the holidays, and a lot of people on vacation or were slammed at their particular eateries, we just give them a rest. George, though, no rest for the wicked for Mr. Mahe, dining editor of St. Louis Magazine. Hiya, Georgie.
Hello. Yeah, I'm still wringing myself out from my weekend away.
Welcome back. We had glorious weather here in St. Louis.
You got some good color from your trip to North Carolina.
I heard it was unprecedented for a Memorial Day weekend here. 4 days of 80s or high 70s and no humidity. And
Can you leave more?
I went to North Carolina where it rained from the time we got there to the time we left. At the beach.
Brutal.
Didn't get much beach time in.
I guess not.
It's nice to get away. I got a lot of sleep. What can I say?
So, for Memorial Days, when you're normally in town, are you, like most of us, hovering over our grills?
Yeah, a little bit. At least once or twice. Just,
And what do you cook on?
What do I cook on? The equipment?
That's his big question today.
The equipment?
Well, yeah, because Carney has an egg.
I have a pellet smoker.
Okay.
So you make magazine money.
And
I can't afford one of those.
I love this thing, and it's very cool, and it's got a sear box on the side, because those pellet smokers don't get super hot. They do a great job at smoking, but you can't get a good, char. Yeah. But it's got, this one came with a sear box that goes up to 1,000 degrees, so you can put a nice char on at the end.
You can burn your house down.
Yeah, it's great. So, anyway, kind of wish I would have been here to do that, but I just, what do you do? I'll go back to the beach at North Carolina sometime.
And in talking to like the Sugar Fire folks and others, I'm stunned that Memorial Day weekend and 4th of July, some of their biggest weekends. And I know most of us are out doing our own grilling on these holiday weekends, yet they're still turning to those places to get their barbecue.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that. I think a lot of people just as soon pick it up and have the party and not have to worry about it.
Or they burned whatever they were making. Oh well, it happens. I was poring over restaurant news, which we always talk about this point during the week, and I didn't really see a lot of stuff going on. Is that because it is a holiday?
I thought after last month being a record month, I thought, here we go, hold on to your hats, it's going to be crazy. And yeah, it wasn't that busy of a week, and I think it has to do with the holiday weekend. But there's always something going on. There's plenty to talk about. I was talking about downtown restaurants today on KMOV, because I'm getting a lot of, now that the offices are coming back a little bit, now that people are going downtown for all these athletic events, I get a lot of, where should I go downtown? What's open? What's reopened? Where do you go? I think it's a good question, because I ask myself the same thing. So I was talking about a place called Farina's Kitchen and Bar. Have you been down there? Have you heard about it?
No,
I have not.
It's where Mosaic used to be, where Mango used to be there right at 10th and
Sure.
Washington. Great,
exactly.
just a great location, and it's big. It's got a big banquet room, 20 to 80 people. You can do a party there. But it's an Argentinian steakhouse, and what they do is they cook over hot rocks. They send a hot rock slab out to your table. They will mark the steak in back, the strip or the picanha or the filet or whatever. They'll put marks on it, send it out with this 800-degree stone with a knife, and you can cut the steak and sear it to however done this you'd like.
Seems like a lawsuit waiting to
happen. A disclaimer you have to sign.
Yeah, well,
probably.
It's a great, and I said, that's such a cool thing. It's how the Argentinians do it. If you remember your 4th grade geography out on the Pampas.
I was sick that day.
The gauchos would cook over hot stones. It
sounds amazing.
And it's basically that style, and it's a great, I think it's a great technique. It's a lot of fun. You can get the steak exactly the way you want it because you're cooking it yourself. And if you don't want to mess with that, or you don't want to risk the burn from an 800-degree stone, they've got a full kitchen. They can do everything in back too. So I just think it's a cool idea. It's getting great reviews. These are the guys that opened, I think, in September and didn't get their liquor license for like 6 or 7 months. And how they stayed open during the winter without a liquor license, I'll never know. But it's 2 brothers, the Farina brothers, and they also own Buenos Aires Cafe at City Foundry, the empanadas place.
Right.
So they've got that. They've got a place on the Metro East too. I forget forget what it's called, but it's another Argentinian type steakhouse. But anyway, great place. Happy to recommend a place like that to anybody and everybody who's downtown, because it's cool. It's a shtick, but it's legit.
Gotta like a good shtick.
It's a legit shtick.
It's a legit
You can
shtick.
say it. It's great. So yeah. So that and I mean, there's Simply Delicious. I don't know if we've ever talked about that. That's
No, we haven't.
Brandy Artis is her name. She's got the Four Hens Creole Kitchen at City Foundry STL. This is her second restaurant. It's at 11th and Pine.
Yeah.
Breakfast and lunch. Really cool patio. One of the coolest patios in town. It's about as big as, it's just like a little shotgun patio. Totally hidden. Great place. Foods, the foods from her youth. Really fun items that she does. She takes a croissant and smashes it in a waffle iron and calls it a croffle. But anyway,
You don't have to cook it on a rock or anything,
no,
do you?
you don't. But she's got some great items there. There's all kinds of little places down there that people don't know about, that they have to, ask some questions and explore a little bit. A place called K and Teo, which is a Filipino restaurant at 2700 Locust, where there's going to be 3 or 4 more restaurants opening up. That's in Midtown. That's not exactly downtown. But,
Right.
They've got Filipino, chicken adobo and lumpia and things like that. But anyway, there's a lot more options downtown and in Midtown than people think. They see COVID just shut everything down, and it's like, oh, woe is us, what are we gonna do? It's not as bad as everybody thinks.
Not just out down in the city, but moving out west a bit. De Pere gets a new Mexican restaurant, Casa de Tres Reyes.
Yes.
And I don't think we've had a week where there wasn't a new Mexican restaurant in maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yep, and it's pretty much, it's a very popular cuisine. Italian for sure. Mexican might be more popular than Italian, even in St. Louis. And yeah, this is and they kind of pop up. You'll see them pop up along Cherokee Street. And it's like, where'd this place?
I feel like a couple of years ago it was burger joints everywhere, and then
chicken
took over,
and then chicken,
and now it's tacos.
Now it's tacos and
Which
Mexican.
Which Max is totally fine with.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyway, this is from the guys that did Three Kings Public House.
Oh, wow.
This isn't the little guy down on Cherokee Street. So
Have they reopened in the Loop yet? The Three Kings that caught fire?
It's not going to open for, I think, quite a while. I mean, it was a major fire.
Right.
I don't think they've even surveyed it yet, and the insurance people get involved, and that's all you probably need to hear.
Sorry, back to the
Talk to me next year about that.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a great little place. I think it's where Rib City used to be,
Okay.
maybe out in that
I
little
know
strip
exactly
center.
where it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Casa de Tres Reyes, the House of Three Kings public house. I shouldn't have to explain
Oh, that's
that to
nice.
you.
Yeah, I like it.
But anyway, we just did a review on that in this month's magazine. But it's been open for several months, and it's a legit. They had a couple of really good consulting chefs that kicked them out of the gate there. So it's definitely one to put on your list.
Today is the day, and been around for a long time in Clayton, but Pasta Plus closing their doors today after I don't know how many years. They've been around a long time.
Is it today or is it June 30th?
I don't know, what month is this? Are we in May or June? Oh, it's a month. Sorry, you got a month. I thought it was
Yeah, so you got a month, but yeah.
My watch stopped.
It's June
month ago.
30th, but they've been there for, what did you say, 30 plus years.
I'm afraid to guess at anything now.
Yeah.
You just run with it, I'll nod.
And again, there's, I think business has been fine. It wouldn't have been fine. I mean, if they were not doing fine, it would have been there for 31 years. But it's redevelopment. It's in a redevelopment block, and I think there's 2 different redevelopment projects being considered. But in any case, the owner said, it's going to go to one of these guys, and I might as well just fold up the tent and go. But supposedly, she's been offered space in the new one of the new developments. We'll see if she comes back, but I have a feeling it's probably history.
An eatery walking distance from where we sit, and not in Westport, but close by, Millwood Sports Bar and Grill, coming to Maryland Heights. It was a place called Jimmy's Sports Bar and Grill, and if I'm not mistaken, it was Johnny's prior to that,
it was.
right?
Yeah. It's changed hands a few times. Jimmy's Place, and again, the Millwoods folks, there is a Millwoods, and I didn't know this till I did research on it, there's one out in Wentzville, that's where the flagship is. And they endeared themselves to the folks out in Wentzville, and they said, you know, we want to be a home bar for anyone and everyone. And apparently they did. Apparently it's very successful in Wentzville. And they said, you know, we found this perfect place in Maryland Heights, and we want to be the home bar for Maryland Heights. It needs a new home bar.
So where is that going to be?
It's at 12068 Dorset.
Okay.
It's less than a mile from where we sit. And back when it was
But
Johnny's, the servers were all in lingerie.
Yeah.
I was offended. But are they still doing that?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But I know it's going to open
Asking
later
for a
this
friend.
summer, so I'll put that on
I was
your
asking
if
for a
it's-
friend.
If it's a pub for everyone, probably not.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
true.
Go out all in.
Yep.
You
Good
told
point.
me you were cheating on me, other than Channel 4, but that you were doing a podcast. Is that up?
Not
happening?
yet. No,
All right.
we're still working on it.
You know who
I think
beat you to that, don't you?
Josh Allen did.
Josh Allen,
Yeah.
the bread guy.
Which is interesting because he's always been a behind the scenes
He's
guy.
quiet.
Yeah, he's
You don't look for that in a podcast.
yeah, hard to pull off. But he's also a brilliant guy. He's fascinating to talk to, and it's called, I think the name's Baked In, as in, you know, the what concepts are baked into these folks' businesses. And I mean, he came out of the chute talking to Gerard Kraft, Katie Collier from Katie's. He just talked to Kat Neville. Kevin Nashin's coming up.
When are you on?
I don't know. Most likely a B-lister. but
Come
we'll
on,
just have
Josh.
to see. Dan Abel, chocolate guy. Trisha Zimmer from Caldy's Coffee. Yeah, my phone is. I made sure it was connected and it wasn't like busy.
Maybe it
out
was the
or
bad weather in the Carolinas. He couldn't
could
get
be.
through.
So yeah. But anyway, it's a weekly podcast called Baked In, and apparently it's going very, very well. And yeah, I got a notice from a national PR company, which is repping it and pushing it. So that's a good sign.
Well, Andy Cohen's his cousin too, so he's pretty well plugged in.
Yeah.
So,
And Baked In.
all right, baked in. So what else you got? Anything?
Ted Drew's opened last Friday.
We're talking
This
South
is,
Grand.
yeah, and this is this is what's interesting. It hasn't opened. I didn't realize this in 4 years. That little second location. It was COVID, and then it was staffing. That place has not been open.
Not even for Christmas.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it was open just for a little bit, but they couldn't staff it. But I didn't realize that it was the first St. Louis store. It opened in 1931. It isn't the other one.
It's not the Chippewa.
No,
Oh, wow.
and it wasn't the first store. Ted Drew's first frozen custard stand was in Florida in 1929, and then he moved it to St. Louis and opened this other store.
It's really
which
good.
I didn't know
Guys.
any of that stuff.
And
So,
gals.
There you go.
so anyway, yeah, open daily 2 to 10 p.m. At I think it's Grand at Merrimack. But yeah, all that stuff I never knew about the place. Kind of interesting. There's some trivia for you.
You know
What do you
stuff, George.
I do now.
You know stuff.
You should have a podcast.
Coming soon.
Coming up soon, a farmer's market at the Foundry Arts Center in St. Charles. A rescheduled cooking demo that I will be hosting after we had North Carolina weather last year, and it got scrapped. So I'll be doing it.
What are we cooking? Do we know?
I don't know. I'm just going to go with what's out there, what the vendors have. Walk around with a basket and make it like a Guy Fieri kind of
That'll be
thing.
fun.
And,
And when is this? Do we know?
I should, but I don't. But when I do know,
I imagine we'll be
I
the first
will
to hear
invite
it.
you.
Yeah,
I'd like
yeah.
you
I like to know these
to
things.
come out. So me too. But I thought it was the end of June.
It's
What
probably
the
last week.
The hell do I know? Restaurant Tuesday, brought to you by our friends at Good Food Service, and of course George Mahe, all over social media. Find him at stlmag.com. Glad you're back. Get some
Me
sun.
too.
We have it here.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
I'm here. Glad to be back.
1:45. Good weather here.